You're searching for how to survive this, and I'm not going to tell you to stay positive. I'm not going to tell you it'll all be okay. I'm going to tell you something most people never consider. This wasn't supposed to go differently. Hard times don't arrive to destroy you. They arrive because something in you is ready to change, and comfort was never going to get you there. Welcome to the Fresh Perspective. This is a space for people who are done with surface-level answers, who want something real, something they can actually use when everything around them is falling apart. Today, I want to tell you a story, not about a spiritual master, not about an ancient mystic, about a mathematics class. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will never look at your problems the same way again. When I was younger, people called me the Guru Mathematician, not because I was born with some magical gift that others didn't have, but because of something they couldn't see. What they saw was this: I would spend a few hours on a topic and understand it more deeply than someone who had studied it for over a week. They watched this happen again and again with their own eyes, and to them it looked effortless, almost unfair. Some of them were quietly frustrated, others were openly amazed. But what they didn't see, what nobody saw, was what I was doing before any of that. Before I ever touched the advanced work, before I attempted anything complex, I made a quiet decision that most students never make. I was going to master the foundation first. Not skim it, not get familiar enough with it to move on, not tick the box and proceed. Master it, completely, thoroughly, without shortcuts. In every new topic, take indices, for example, where other students would work through maybe 10 practice questions, nod their heads and move on to the next thing. I would sit down and solve a minimum of 300 questions, sometimes 400, sometimes 500, on that one topic alone. Not because I was slow, not because I didn't understand, but because I understood something early that most people discover too late. The more possibilities you expose yourself to at the foundation, the less anything can surprise or shake you later. By the time I was done with indices, I had met every version of that concept that could ever be presented to me. Every angle, every twist, every variation they could dream up. It wasn't just something I had studied anymore, it had become a part of me. Indices was not a topic I knew, it was something I was. And here is what that depth gave me. While other students sat before exams in visible panic, pulling out their notes with anxious hands, frantically revising, trying desperately to hold everything together in their minds, reading the same pages over and over, hoping something would stick, I slept. Not out of arrogance, not out of indifference, out of certainty. Because you cannot revise what has already become a part of you. You don't revise your own name before someone asks you what it is, you simply know it. That is what mastering the foundation does. It moves knowledge from your head into your bones. Now, when students came to me, students who feared mathematics the way most people fear their worst nightmares, something interesting happened in those sessions. The moment a student asked a question, I didn't just hear the question on the surface. I immediately heard what was missing underneath it. I could identify with precision exactly which foundation they had skipped, which basic concept they had glossed over, which building block was absent, and because it was absent, everything built on top of it was unstable, shaky, frightening, impossible feeling. And the moment I went back and taught them that missing piece, not the advanced work, not the complicated part, but the simple, humble foundation they had bypassed, the confusion dissolved like morning fog.
What had felt impossible became simple. What had felt like a locked door became an open one. What had terrified them began to interest them. And I want to tell you something remarkable. In those classes, it did not matter how a student had been labeled. It did not matter if they had been told their whole lives that they were bad at mathematics. It did not matter if they sat down in front of me convinced they could never understand it. Every single one of them understood. Even the ones others had written off. Even the ones who came in shaking their heads before we had begun. Even the ones who said, "I am just not a maths person." When you go back to the foundation and teach it with patience and care, even the student who believed they were a fool begins to see clearly, begins to smile, begins to say, "Wait, is it really this simple?" Yes, it really is that simple. It was always that simple. The fear was built on a missing foundation, not on any lack of intelligence. And then I taught them the same method I had used myself. Go back to the foundation. Don't run from it. Don't skim it. Don't rush past it. Sit with it. Turn it over. Solve it 200 times, 300 times, until it stops being something outside of you that you're afraid of and starts being something inside you that you own. Every student who committed to that process came out the other side not just passing, but excelling, freely, confidently, joyfully, because they had discovered the great secret that looks like the long way around, but is actually the only real shortcut there is. Master the foundation, and everything else falls into place naturally. What looked like more work at the beginning saved them enormous time, enormous effort, and enormous fear for the rest of their lives. The foundation was never the obstacle. The foundation was always the answer. And I want to ask you something now. What if your problems work exactly the same way? Think about it. Most of us approach hard times the way a struggling student approaches mathematics. We want the pain to stop, the problem to pass, the lesson to be over, without ever sitting down and asking, what is the foundation here? What is this problem teaching me at its root?
And so the problem comes back. Different face, different name, different year, different person, but the same lesson, because the foundation was never truly met. The same relationship pattern repeats, the same financial wall gets hit, the same emotional door keeps slamming shut. Not because life is cruel, not because you are unlucky, but because life is a patient, faithful teacher, and it will keep presenting the same question until you stop running from it and actually sit down and work through it all the way to the root. Problems feared always return as problems feared, but a problem met with curiosity, with willingness, with depth, that problem eventually becomes toothless. It loses its grip on you, not because it disappears, but because you have grown larger than it. You have mastered the basics of living. Rumi knew this. He was a successful, respected scholar, comfortable, admired, settled in his world, and then Shams of Tabriz walked into his life and dismantled everything. Friendships lost, reputation shaken, his entire inner world completely turned upside down. By every surface measurement, everything had gone wrong. But Rumi didn't run from the lesson. He went into it, deeper than anyone thought wise. And out of that complete dismantling came the Masnavi, one of the greatest spiritual poems humanity has ever known. 8 centuries later, his words still open hearts across the world. The falling apart was the making of him. And Rumi himself said it best, "The wound is the place where the light enters you. Not despite the wound, through it. The wound was the door. The falling apart was always the path." So how do we actually do this? How do we stop fighting our hard times and start learning from them at the foundation? It begins with gratitude. Not the gratitude of pretending everything is fine, not a forced smile when your heart is breaking, not a performance for anyone watching, something far more honest than that. It sounds like this. Thank you. I don't fully understand what you're showing me yet, but I trust that you are showing me something, and I am really grateful and willing to learn. Thank you. Thank you. Say that to life, to whatever you believe is greater than you, to the situation itself, even if you don't feel it completely yet, even if there is still pain underneath it. Just that opening, that small act of turning toward the lesson instead of away from it, changes the speed of everything. Because resistance keeps the lesson locked outside of you, but gratitude opens the door. And when you are ready to go deeper, ask yourself this: what is the foundation here? What is this trying to teach me at the root? What am I doing or becoming or holding on to that could be working against my own expansion, which is exactly what life is hinting at right now? That question, asked honestly, is worth more than 1,000 hours of avoidance. But beneath gratitude, beneath every lesson life has ever sent, there is something even deeper. And that something is love. Not romantic love, not sentimental love, but love as a force, love as a practice, love as a decision.
Here is something I have come to know with certainty. When life is so confusing that you don't know what to do, when you can't see the path forward, when the lesson hasn't become clear yet and the pain is still present, go out and give love. To a person, to an animal, to a plant, to a stranger who looks like they are carrying something heavy, to the earth beneath your feet. Give it freely. Give it without a contract. Give it without the quiet whisper in the back of your mind saying, "And now something good will come back to me." Because the moment it becomes conditional, it is no longer love. It is a transaction. And transactions don't open the same doors that love does. Give it purely. Give it completely. And then let it go. What happens next may surprise you. Help comes. Not always in the form you expected. Not always immediately. But it comes. A person appears. A door opens. An understanding arrives. Something shifts. Inside you or around you, or both. Why does this work?
Because when you trace every hard time back to its deepest foundation, past the surface problem, past the pattern underneath it, past the lesson beneath that, you always arrive at the same place: love. All of life's lessons at their root are lessons in love. How to give it more freely, how to receive it more openly, how to become a cleaner, clearer, more unobstructed expression of it. That is the foundation of all foundations. And when you meet your problems from that place, with gratitude, with willingness, with love, they do not just lose their teeth. They become your teachers, your laboratory, your most reliable path to becoming who you were always meant to be. Before you go, here is your one practice for today. Find 5 quiet minutes, sit down, close your eyes, and say out loud if you can, "Thank you. I don't fully understand what you're showing me yet, but I trust that you are showing me something, and I am really grateful and willing to learn. Thank you. Thank you." Then go and give love to something, anything, without expecting anything in return, and watch what begins to move. Because life has been speaking all along. Hard times are not the enemy, they are the curriculum, and love is the foundation of every lesson within them. You are not falling apart, you are being built. This is the fresh perspective. Until next time.